Deni Avdija is a 19-year-old guard in the Euroleague who's been getting a lot of hype around this year's NBA draft. He's being hailed as the best prospect to ever come out of Israel. So let's dig into the footage to see what kind of player he is and whether he's got the skills to make it in the NBA. If you'd only watch his highlights alone, you'd think Deni Avdija would be a surefire bet to be a great player in the league. At 6'9", he's got great size for a ball handler, he can jump really well, and he appears to be a willing passer with good vision. While he's being touted as a point guard, he wasn't the lead guard for Maccabi Tel Aviv this past year, so we didn't get to see him running tons of pick and rolls and making the kind of decisions he'll be faced with in the NBA. The main way he got his shots off was as an off-ball player spotting up from the perimeter. And one troubling thing that stands out about his distance shooting is rhythm. It appears to me he's been taught to not dip the ball on the catch, or at the very least, make it so minimal that it severely affects his power production and proper energy transfer. In this workout video, you can see he completely eliminates any downward motion, and it's my experience that trying to shoot like this in-game is suboptimal. On this kick out to the left wing, you can see he doesn't bring the ball down from shoulder height. It throws the synchronization off with his jump, interrupts power generation, and naturally the shot misses short. A key part of shooting 1-2 is to time the bottom of the dip to the right foot plant of the 2. That ensures a smooth energy transfer up into the shot. But when you watch Avdija shoot, look where the ball is when the right foot touches. It's already at face level. This becomes a two-motion shot, and unless he's wide open like this, it's going to be tough to calibrate distance consistently. He doesn't utilize the hop consistently, but it certainly gives me some hope, since usually hopping into a shot gives you proper rhythm naturally. However, notice how he makes the catch with his feet on the ground, then lifts both feet into the hop. Aside from this being a travel, which probably wouldn't get called in the NBA, the rhythm is off, as his knees are at maximum flex while the ball is already above his head. The timing is off, and the shot is short. On this hop, you can see the moment the feet plant, the arm swings a little lower than normal with lots of airspace at the bottom of the dip. This is closer to optimal rhythm, and the ball goes in over two defenders closely contesting. The bottom line, it looks to me like it was drilled into him to limit motion, eliminate the dip as much as possible, and it's like 1994 called and wanted its coaching back. Back then, we didn't know about rhythm and syncing the arm swing with a triple extension in the legs, and hopefully he can iron that out with some smart NBA coaching. He almost never took threes off the dribble, so don't expect to see much of that for a few seasons. Now let's go to the fun part, his passing. Again, he wasn't the lead guard on his team, so he didn't get a ton of usage on ball to make these kinds of plays all the time. He averaged only 3 assists per 36 minutes of play, but the vision displayed on these plays is great, and it helps to be 6'9" and capable with the ball, and also a willing passer with the audacity to make some of these passes. Defensively, the Euroleague is a lot different than the NBA, so be prepared for some spectacular fails, but over time, I think he could develop this skill consistently, and it would only be a matter of fit. Can he get to a team that will give him enough opportunities with the ball in his hands? The NBA is all about pace and transition, and I was curious to see how well he did versus Euroleague talent in the open court. Because he can handle the ball, is 6'9", and has good jumping ability, I saw some coast-to-coast evidence where he can overwhelm the athletic ability he was facing over in Israel. But he is far from a polished product at full speed. He seems to struggle with visual recognition of what's in front of him, unable to process the defenders and what they're capable of doing to stop his attack. As a result, he dribbled himself into trouble a lot and would turn an advantage for his team into a live ball turnover for the opponent. We have to remember that he's only 19, and these types of mistakes aren't unusual for someone so young. But then again, we saw someone like Luka Doncic compete at the same age and same league and not make these types of mistakes. I got into coaching because I was taught as a player to overcome my skill deficit with sheer effort. As a result, my body completely broke down with debilitating injuries. But I've discovered a way to overcome a lot of the aches and pains my body still goes through with the Theragun. It's a handheld percussive therapy device that releases your deepest muscle tension using a scientifically calibrated combination of depth, speed, and power, and now as quiet as an electric toothbrush. Try it for 30 days or your money back, and there is no substitute for the Theragun Gen 4 with an OLED screen, personalized Theragun app, and the quiet and power you need. They start at only $199. So head over to my special link at theragun.com/bball right now and get your Gen 4 Theragun today. Unfortunately, Deni didn't run a lot of pick and rolls from Maccabi, as there were 6 players who ran more of them on the team. This type of skill takes time and game reps, and he's just not ready to run them as a ball handler at the NBA level. While there were a few highlights from this batch, he struggled to come off the ball screen and get downhill at all, and his overall decision making was suboptimal. With his size, I'd expect him to improve in this area with better training, but I'd be surprised if one off-season of work would do the trick. So we'll have to wait a season or two before he's ready to run the most common action in the NBA, so expect him to spot up on the perimeter instead. He did get to post up a bit, and this is an intriguing spot on the floor for him considering how NBA teams want to avoid the low post these days. However, if they play him at 2 guard, he'd have a size advantage, and he definitely displays nice touch around the rim. However, this part of his game is also underdeveloped, as he doesn't really have much in the way of moves. He prefers to just lower his shoulder and try and bully players to the hoop. And if he's going to struggle this much against slower and physically weaker players in this league, I suspect he's going to have the same issues down low against NBA defenders, no matter if he's got a few inches on him. Of course, one offseason is a long time, and developing better footwork in the post can be developed during this time. But he's fighting the forces of NBA style anyway. This could be a very viable option for him at some point in his career, but I suspect it's a few seasons away. Defensively, I was interested to see how he did on closeouts. And again, I have to stress he's only 19 and lots of time to clean up the details. But he's basically got a severe case of happy feet. Lots of wasted movement and steps, with plenty of energy leakage from his stance that led him getting beat time and time again when closing out from a help position. He could be a real asset defensively with his size and bounce, but not until he refines his mechanics and footwork so he's not leaning, off balance, non-explosive, and so vulnerable off the dribble. He certainly has the ability to make plays and displays good basketball IQ when stepping over from the weak side to get into passing lanes. And there is some evidence that on ball, he can keep himself in front, move his feet, and shift laterally enough to stop the ball from getting all the way to the basket. Also, playing him at guard means he'll be the first line of defense getting back, and his bounciness can make him into a transition rim protector, although it remains to be seen if he'd have this kind of success against NBA guards, who are faster, jump higher, and are more vicious. The biggest thing I need to stress here is that he's only 19, and he's been playing up for several years in Israel, so I don't think he'll be intimidated under the bright lights of the NBA courts. And there's evidence that his training this summer could help him shore up the issues we've seen with his game. But I get the feeling he's not quite ready for prime time, and will end up being more of an off guard in the NBA, a secondary ball handler. But for that to happen, he'll need to improve his shooting. He's got the size and athletic ability to compete. He'll just need more skill development and experience at the highest level before he can make a real impact. It will most likely take him a year or two, and also the right fit on the right team. But if that happens, expect good things. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and comment and subscribe. Also, check out all of our other videos that are happening during the off season. We've got tons of content coming up, so don't miss it. You in?